This is NBC Palm Springs.
It's not illegal to be homeless in Palm Springs. We do not criminalize homelessness.
And a story we first brought you 3 days ago about Barristo Park. Well, one day after that report, Palm Springs shut down Heroin Park to clean up the trash and ramp up enforcement for drug crimes. Tonight, City Council will be voting on what could be long-term solution for homeless problems at Barristo Park. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gino Lamont.
And I'm Olivia Sandusky. Many are attributing the problems at Barristo Park to the growing homeless population within the city. And after years of temporary half measures, the city says it has an opportunity to bring about more permanent solutions. A meeting to discuss those options starts in just about 30 minutes. Our Regina Ureta is live now from our satellite center with more on that meeting. Regina.
Olivia, as housing and the cost of living skyrocket in California, so does the number of homeless people. But Palm Springs wants to change that. I spoke with the mayor, who details why this new project for permanent housing with wraparound services is so different from other proposals.
For people in Palm Springs, it's one of the biggest concerns: homelessness. Locals are tired of temporary band-aids and want a permanent solution.
It's not illegal to be homeless in Palm Springs. We do not criminalize homelessness.
The situation became so bad at Barristo Park, locals launched a petition to close down what some call Heroin Park. The city shut down the park temporarily, and with nowhere else to go, homeless people will end up displaced and find another park or street to go to. The mayor says they do have options.
The city has provided Martha's Village and Kitchen as a location for people to come in and get services, get connected to housing. And the county is also operating the 24-hour shelter.
The city says there's a 63% vacancy rate in shelters, but these are temporary services and some have limitations on pets and strict curfews, which drive homeless people away.
Something needs to be done because, like I said, it's going to be very hard to move people forward without a safe place for them to be.
Thursday night, the city will vote on a measure that could affect real and permanent change. The proposal includes 3 units with apartment buildings and wraparound services, including drug rehabilitation and job assistance. The property is located in Desert Highland Gateway Estates and would cost $5.9 million.
The city council is considering tonight at the meeting a navigation center and looking at multiple locations throughout the city, including one in the north end that has warehouses or structures all ready to go.
One major hurdle facing the project, the potential for pushback from people and business nearby, something shelters have faced in the city before. The CEO of Martha's Village Kitchen says there's a lack of compassion and humanity for the homeless community.
It's much easier to get an education. It's much easier to find a job if you have the luxury.
The total cost for the center is estimated to be about $12.1 million. Palm Springs and Riverside County will split the cost. Some of the funds will be allocated from the American Rescue Plan. Reporting live in the Satellite Center for NBC Palm Springs, I'm Regina Ureta.
All right, thank you, Regina. Underscoring the housing difficulties in Palm Springs, it took 12 years to reach today's groundbreaking on 60-unit affordable housing community. The Community Housing Opportunities Corporation and the city plan to turn 3.5-acre lot on Indian Canyon and San Rafael Drive into 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units. The benefactor of affordable housing say these types of homes help get families back on their feet.
Not having a foundation and not having that one necessity that you need as housing, it put me to a position where it was very scary and very overwhelming. And I was able to stay in that housing up until I got myself out, when I was able to start making enough money, and then I moved out. And now, as of October 15th, I am now a business owner.
Community Housing Opportunities Corporation is a nonprofit that plans to build 1,000 affordable housing units locally in Coachella and parts of western Riverside County.
San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department confirms remains found earlier this month in Yucca Valley are those of Lauren Cho. She went missing June 28th. Cho's case gained national attention after Gabby Petito went missing. Many criticized the lack of attention paid to other missing persons cases, particularly with missing women of color. In addition to Lauren Cho, the bodies of 8 other missing people were found shortly after Gabby Petito was found. The Sheriff's Department says the cause of Cho's death is still under investigation.
Despite being a high foot traffic area, the streets of Palm Springs are often known to be dangerous for pedestrians, and some say the city's simply not doing enough to keep the most vulnerable safe, including those who are disabled. Our Kamari Ascara shares one man's emotional plea.
Just yesterday, I was in the crosswalk and cars going this way and at 50 miles an hour, just zipping right through. Not even slowing down.
Every day, Brian Smith braces himself to cross the intersection at Stevens and Palm Canyon in uptown Palm Springs.
I'm so vulnerable when I'm in a crosswalk. The lights don't stop cars from hitting me or anything.
He's been doing this for years now, just barely missing cars speeding past him. To keep himself safe, Brian wears a flashy neon shirt, rides with a bright orange flag, and blows his bullhorn to notify drivers he is crossing.
The point is to make yourself as visible as possible. It's amazing people just don't see you. I feel safer with what I've done. I still don't feel totally safe.
And Brian is not the only resident who feels that way.
You push the button and no one ever really stops. And I've had cars I'm halfway walking through and they just fly right by you, so it's a little scary at times.
At this intersection, multiple cars not only didn't brake, but continued driving at full speed. And one driver pulled over, letting us know he didn't even see the caution signs.
It's completely invisible. I didn't see them flashing at all. That's why I came back here. I was so terrified, and I wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Now, both pedestrians and drivers are urging the city to make crosswalks safer for both parties.
One, I think that the speed on the road is a bit high for such a large amount of pedestrian traffic. 40 miles an hour makes me terrified. And then the sheer fact that there are very few lights along the path or stop signs to help slow traffic down.
On some of these crosswalks, there are safety signs, but one thing Brian would like to see implemented are lights along the crosswalk, making it visible to drivers that pedestrians are crossing.
It'd be a lot safer.
There needs to be some better improvement to make the city more pedestrian friendly.
And it's not just the lack of safety signs and lights. The sidewalks themselves are often unusable for disabled residents.
The condition of the sidewalks in this town is unbelievable. But so many of these streets, you don't have sidewalks at all.
Many residents don't give sidewalks a second thought. But for Brian Smith, a disabled senior, they are a necessity. Smith gets around town on his motor scooter, or on good days by walking, sometimes with a walker. But his trips are often prevented or continuously rerouted due to poorly maintained, disturbed, or missing sidewalks.
I already have it planned out so I know where I have to cross the street and then go for a block or two, then cross the street back. It's a jigsaw puzzle. I contacted the city when I first moved here about 3 years ago, and the response was, we just don't have the funding.
Kamari Ascara, NBC Palm Springs.
Yeah, we did reach out to the city over safety concerns, but they've yet to get back to us.
Governor Gavin Newsom and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg moved to inject $5 billion to modernize the state's ports. Now, it won't instantly solve the current supply chain problems, but they say it will help prevent future backlogs by improving port and rail infrastructure. The money would come from existing federal Department of Transportation programs.
A cast member of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was a victim of a home invasion last night. Dorrit Kemsley says she was briefly held at gunpoint when 3 men broke in and made off with money, jewelry, handbags, and watches, which altogether could be worth about $1 million. LAPD says Kemsley and her 3 children were asleep when the men first broke in. No injuries reported, no arrests have been made, and the break-in is under investigation.
Taking a live look outside now, courtesy of our Agua Caliente casino cam. I know everyone's looking forward to the weekend, a little bit of trick-or-treating. So let's see what that forecast will be looking like. We'll send it on over to our meteorologist, Jerry Steffen, for the latest. Jerry.
Well, we had a couple days of beautiful weather around the Coachella Valley. Earlier today, we had low 90s for highs. That'll be the case again tomorrow. Lots of sunshine for the Coachella Valley. Weak Santa Ana wind flow will keep us on the dry side. And we have a mild Halloween for trick-or-treaters, too. Now, tonight, a little warmer with the overnight numbers. Instead of 50s, we'll see lots of middle 60s for lows this evening. 60 degrees, that's where 29 Palms will bottom out. 59 for Banning. Overnight low of 63 for Cabazon. 36 up at Big Bear. Radar and satellite, not much going on over Southern California. A quiet weather pattern will continue through tomorrow. Like earlier today, temperatures again in the low 90s. Lots of sunshine. At Santa Ana wind flow, although light, will keep us on the dry side. Dew points slightly higher, closer to 40 degrees by the middle of the afternoon, but still dry with teens for relative humidity. Peak temps, well, 92s at Thousand Palms, Indio. Tomorrow, 93 in Sunshine Palm Springs, 88 at Cabazon, 81 degrees at Joshua Tree. Tomorrow, the numbers come down just a little bit, upper 80s, low 90s, a few high clouds late in the day on Saturday. And Halloween, middle 80s for highs with mostly sunny skies, a few high clouds late in the day, and a breezy flow. Full forecast and a look ahead to the new month coming up in just a bit.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
All right, here are your latest local COVID numbers. 336 new cases, 9 new deaths reported today in Riverside County.
Yeah, but in spite of those numbers, nationwide, a sign that vaccinations may be working. New COVID-19 cases are down 60% from early September. Hospitalizations down 50%, and more than 40% of Americans say their lives are basically back to pre-pandemic normal.
And speaking of pre-pandemic normal, the 2-year wait is over for the Indio International Tamale Festival. The event runs this year. It returns for the first weekend of December, and it promises to bring tens of thousands of food lovers out. Plus, new vendors will bring handcrafts, a farmer's market, and even some signature cocktails. Of course, there will be a competition for best tamale as well. If you want to apply to be a vendor, head over to the festival's website. It's there on your screen. Applications are due Friday, November 12th. I am looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's of the festivals.
Yeah.
Unlike the music festivals, this one I'll actually go to. Coming up next, the parent company of Facebook is changing its name. What's really behind the rebranding efforts?
Plus, embattled former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo resigned after sexual harassment allegations, but he's not out of the headlines yet. Cuomo is facing serious new legal trouble. We'll have those details after the break. You're watching NBC Palm Springs. See the difference. A nail biter in the nation's capital as President Biden tries to secure a deal with Democrats on his sweeping social spending and climate change plan. The president pressing for a big win before he asks foreign leaders for their own commitments to the same causes. Alice Barr has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Good day. President Biden making a detour to Capitol Hill this morning, trying to seal the deal with congressional Democrats before takeoff for critical summits in Europe.
I think we're going to be in good shape.
The president announced a new $1.75 trillion framework for his climate and social spending plans, paid for through new taxes, including one aimed at billionaires. Though so far, neither moderate holdouts nor progressives have given a firm commitment.
It's a framework that will create millions of jobs, grow the economy, invest in our nation and our people.
The new proposal includes childcare, universal pre-K, expanded health care coverage, including Medicare for hearing services, and investments to curb climate change.
Over 1 billion metric tons of emission reductions, at least 10 times bigger on climate than any bill that has ever passed before.
But several top progressive priorities are gone, including free community college, expanded Medicare coverage for dental and vision, and paid family and medical leave, scuttled by cost objections from moderate Senate Democrat Joe Manchin.
What I don't like is this idea that one guy would stand in the way of doing it.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called for a vote today on the bipartisan infrastructure bill that passed the Senate more than 2 months ago. But progressives are refusing to sign on until the larger package is set.
Our members are enthusiastic about voting for both bills when that text is ready.
All Republicans oppose the president's plans, but it's divisions within his own party, sending him off to pressure foreign leaders for key climate change and economic policies without a deal of his own.
Just to underscore how much is riding on getting to a deal, according to two sources, President Biden told Democrats behind closed doors today that majorities in the House and Senate and his presidency will be determined by what happens in the next week. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has been charged with a misdemeanor sex crime complaint. The charge is related to allegations he forcibly touched a woman under her blouse. Cuomo resigned from his post in August after multiple women came forward alleging inappropriate touching. Cuomo has repeatedly denied the allegations. In fact, in his farewell address, he mentioned the motives of those who oversaw the investigation. The Albany City Court issued a summons for him to appear next month.
Families of the victims in the Mother Emanuel AME church shooting in South Carolina settle a civil suit against the federal government. They accused the FBI of negligence when it allowed a licensed firearms dealer to sell a gun to Dylan Roof. Roof, an admitted white nationalist, killed 9 people when he opened fire at the historically black church. That was back in June of 2015. Officials say Roof admitted he wanted to start a race war. The attorney for the families say the settlements is just a sliver of justice.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced the parent company is changing its name to Meta. But many things about the social media giant will apparently stay exactly the same.
I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta. Our mission remains the same. It's still about bringing people together. Our apps and their brands, they're not changing either. And we are still the company that designs technology around people. But now we have a new North Star to help bring the metaverse to life.
Okay. Metaverse is a term for a virtual universe often used in dystopian science fiction novels like The Matrix and Ready Player One, so we probably could use better terminology there. Tech reporters and analysts say the rebrand could just be a deflection from recent weeks of bad press for the company, including allegations they put profit and engagement over the safety of their younger users.
All righty, we'll take a live look outside now. This is courtesy of our Agua Caliente Casino Cam. There's downtown Palm Springs looking lovely on this Thursday afternoon. Jerry's up next with your full forecast.
All right, taking a live look outside now, courtesy of our Walter Clark Highway 111. Cam, another gorgeous night of rush hour traffic. Let's check in with Jerry for the latest and a little sneak peek at that weekend.
Well, it was another beautiful day for the Coachella Valley. Temperatures slightly warmer than the day before, but we hit temperatures in the upper 80s, low 90s in the Coachella Valley, much like we did yesterday. 87 is a normal high this time of year. Radar and satellite quiet over the Coachella Valley area, a trend that'll continue through tomorrow. Tonight, clear skies and 60s for overnight lows tonight. That includes 63 at Indio this evening, 68 Palm Springs, 60 degrees, 29 Palms, some 50s and 60s around the San Gorgonio Pass. Tomorrow's going to be like we had earlier today. Lots of low 90s under plenty of sunshine with a weak Santa Ana wind flow into Southern California. That'll keep us on the dry side, upper level high, keeping those temperatures slightly above average again tomorrow. So 93 degrees for Palm Springs tomorrow. Same for Palm Desert. 92 under sunshine at Indio, 80s up north and around the San Gorgonio Pass. Numbers come down a couple degrees, but still close to normal. Upper 80s, low 90s for the valley. That's for Saturday afternoon. Again, lots of sunshine to go with those numbers. Now on Halloween, we'll have a weak tropical pressure swinging through the southwest. Really doesn't mean all that much. No rain with the system. Will still remain dry, but temperatures come down a little bit. So lots of middle 80s under mostly sunny skies for Halloween afternoon. 84 degrees on Monday, the day after. A little extra cloud cover. 83 degrees Indio, 70s up north, and a few 60s, low 70s around the San Gorgonio Pass. Surface moisture, that remains dry like earlier today. Teens for relative humidity. That'll be the case on Saturday. Numbers come up just a little bit on Sunday. And as far as skies, lots of sunshine Friday. A few high clouds move in Saturday, Sunday. Little thicker cloud cover, but no rain for Monday, the 1st of November. Here's your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, Friday, 93 for high. 89 degrees on Saturday. High clouds, a few of those on Sunday, Halloween, with a high of 86. More clouds on Monday, but again, no rain for the 1st of November. Middle 80s will stick around through the middle of next week.
In consumer news tonight, the supply chain crisis just continues to get worse. One Los Angeles bike store owner says his showroom has stock now, but he says only 17 new bikes have arrived out of the 300 he's ordered. And as far as walking in and buying a new bike, well, here's what he has to say.
We have some bikes here that have been sitting here 2-3 weeks right now, waiting on parts. If you want to come in and order a bike, those are pushing 2 years out right now. So it's very difficult to get bicycles.
Supply chain issues and a backlog at the Port of Los Angeles are making it hard for shops to keep any items in stock.
The McRib is turning 40. Just the one you're eating. And to celebrate, McDonald's is giving away a one-of-a-kind digital art. The fast food giant has created a limited number of non-fungible tokens, or NFT, in honor of McRib's 40th birthday. I think you'll find it with a little sauce, they taste roughly the same. The company says its fans on Twitter will be gifted digital art in a sweepstakes. It begins on Monday when McRib makes its big comeback. As always, it's for a limited time.
I can't comment much on this because, you know, I can admit I've never had a McRib.
Yeah, well, it's probably for the best. But we're back after the break.
A Georgia man is charged with wire fraud for allegedly using COVID small business relief money on one single Pokemon card. Documents say he lied about the number of employees at his supposed business. And in fact, this card cost him $58,000. I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, but it's a really good one.
Well, it's landed him 20 years in prison.
Okay, well, maybe not that good. See you at 6.